Howdy, Pioneers. This is May 7th, Friday, May 7th, excuse me. I'm Tanner Lambert here alongside my great pal, Reagan Yamasaki. Welcome back to your slice of orange sports. Yama, it's been a while since we've been up here. It's great to be back with you. I've missed doing it with you. I don't think we've done a show together since we've come back full time, and we were really in a groove there before we came back full time, pumping them out, and but now we're back, so we're excited to be back. We're going to start with your pro sports update today, and then we'll get into orange sports as well. The NFL draft took place April 29th through May 1st last week. The first pick was Trevor Lawrence, who was assumed to be the first pick, probably the greatest prospect of all time coming out of Clemson. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars under new head coach Urban Meyer, and the Jags couldn't be more excited, Yama. Second pick was Zach Wilson, a quarterback from BYU, who went to the Jets after they traded Sam Darnold a couple weeks ago. He'll probably, New York, they've got to figure stuff out. They've got new head coach Robert Saleh, and the third pick was Trey Lance, who was drafted to the 49ers, who played college football at North Dakota State. Yamasaki, he seems like he could be a nice pick. It was presumed that it was going to be Mac Jones, who's your guy from Alabama, right? You like Mac Jones, but it did not end up being Mac Jones. The top three picks were all quarterbacks, and the top 7 were all offensive players for the first time in NFL draft history. So that's going to tell you what the NFL's trending towards, and that's just more offense. What do you think about the draft?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was very interesting because, a lot of the, like you said, all of them are offensive players, right. And I feel like everyone kind of always looks at the offensive players and no one really ever pays attention to the defense. Yeah. Especially when because no one's like, oh, that was a good stop. It's always like, oh, what a great touchdown. Right. So I feel like even just with the draft, I feel like in general, I feel like people need to really give the defense more credit. And it's gonna be hard, not just with this season, but in the seasons in general, because all of them were offensive picks this year. Pretty much. Okay. So 3 of the first 10 picks were Alabama, with Jalen Waddle, who was picked at 6, Surtain at 9, and Devonta Smith at 10. Alabama had 6 first-round picks, with 8 picks in the first 2 rounds. Ohio State and Alabama each had 10 players selected, which is pretty crazy, Tanner, since that is 1 player short from a starting lineup.
You're completely right, and that just shows you how great both of those programs are. But really, if you look at it, the depth of the SEC players drafted was second to none this year. And the argument is that Big Ten football is the best over SEC football. And I think that if you just look at how many players make it to the next level, which would be the NFL from the SEC, it's not even a comparison at that point. Yeah. You have so many SEC players continued to get drafted. 25% of this draft was the SEC, which is just insane. Absolutely crazy. The Southern Eastern Conference is just absolutely insane. Lots of great coaches in there. In the top 5, you had, 2 or 3 SEC players taken, and the first player off the board didn't even win the Heisman, Jamar Chase. The Heisman winning player didn't even go to pick number 10. 2 receivers that were not the Heisman Trophy winner,
and that's
both went in the top 10 before the Heisman Trophy winner. And they were both from the SEC as well.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy to think about. 1 in every 4 players was from the SEC. And
there's only 5 power conferences, so that's quite a bit of SEC strength.
Yeah. While the NFL is getting set for next season, the NBA is approaching their playoff tournament as well. In the East, the 76ers, Nets, and Bucks have all clinched playoff positions, while the Pistons, Magic, and unfortunately the Cleveland Cavs have all been officially eliminated. In the West, the Suns, Jazz, Clippers, and Nuggets have also all secured their place in the playoff, while the Rockets, T-Wolves, and Thunder are all eliminated.
On to baseball in the MLB. In the AL East, the Red Sox and the New York Yankees are on top. The Rays are not far behind, though. In the AL Central, the Royals and the White Sox are leading, although the Cleveland Indians have had a great week. They've won 4 straight out in Kansas City, and I think they are back in the lead. This was written yesterday, before they won last night in Kansas City. The Athletics and Mariners are holding on in the AL West, and the Athletics have the best record in baseball. The Tigers with the worst. In the NL East, the Phillies and Nationals are ahead, and in the Central, the Cardinals and Brewers are carrying the Brewers behind Christian Yelich, obviously. And the Cardinals have a very sneaky good team this year after picking up Nolan Arenado this offseason. Giants and Dodgers are both on top in the NL West, and the Giants have the best record, with the Rockies having the worst out in the West.
Baseball season is getting exciting, not only with the MLB, but here at Orange High School as well. On Friday, April 30th, Orange beat Liberty Baseball at home with a score of 5-2.
Great win for the boys.
For sure. Saturday, the boys had a doubleheader, beating Harrison Central and losing in a well-fought game against Watkins Memorial, both at home. Wednesday, they faced Hilliard-Davidson at home once again, with Varsity B taking the win. Today, the Nears will head to Dublin to face off Dublin Kaufman for a big conference game. Good luck to the boys.
The boys have been playing really well, and they've got a lot of coaches looking at them around the state. I think that they're first in the poll in the entire state, which is absolutely fantastic. There were a lot of high expectations coming in this year for our baseball boys. You talked to Logan Shearer a couple weeks ago, and right now they're living up to the hype, and it's very exciting to see. Moving on to softball, last Friday the girls traveled to Dublin Kaufman and were down early in the game in an OCC matchup. Unfortunately, though, they were up early in the game, but it was not enough to pull out the win. On Saturday, the girls honored 5 seniors, but took a tough loss against DeSales at home. On Monday, the girls took a trip to Upper Arlington, and they also fell there to the Golden Bears. On Wednesday, they faced Hilliard Bradley at home and Liberty in Powell, and they took a win against Bradley, but they lost to Liberty.
On the 27th, the girls lacrosse team celebrated senior night, honoring the 4 seniors on the team. They faced Hilliard Davidson at home, but they lost a very close game, losing 14-13. On the 1st, the girls traveled to Gahanna and lost a tough-fought game. On Tuesday, they again were away, this time in Powell, but could not pull off a win. Last night, the girls hosted Dublin Scioto at 5:30, unfortunately losing again. Tomorrow, Saturday, May 8th, the girls are looking for a big and much-wanted and needed win against Columbus School for Girls here at Orange.
It's a big chance for the girls. Last Friday, the boys lacrosse team traveled to Delaware Hayes, and they had a tough loss in Delaware Hayes. On Tuesday, they hosted Liberty for a hard-fought game, but could not pull off the win. And last night, the boys celebrated senior night, celebrating all 10 of their seniors, and pulled off a huge win against the Columbus Academy Vikings here at Orange with a score of 12-7. Tomorrow afternoon, they have a little ways travel, taking a hike to Centerville. Good luck to you boys.
Track and field has had an excellent season so far and closing out the regular season strong. On April 30th, they headed over to sister school Olentangy for the Olentangy Invitational. The boys took first place with an overall score of 142. The 4x2 relay and the 4x4 relay both took first place. Jordan Rudolph placed second in the 200-meter dash, and Jordan Ampdu placing second in the 110-meter hurdles, with Cole Benechik also placing second, but in the 2-mile. Joe Gargaras took third in the 800-meter, and Jonathan Peterson took second in the pole vault, clearing 15 feet on his third attempt. The girls took second place overall with a score of 144. Ava Musgrove took first place in the 100-meter dash, and the 4x1 and the 4x2 relays also took first. The 4x4 and the 4x800 both took second, as well as Kylie Hansen taking second in the 400-meter yard dash. Noelle Fry took first place in discus throw and second place in shot put, while Sarah Borton cleared 12 feet in pole vault, placing her in first place. Abby Schaff also put up some points, placing third in the 1,600-meter run. Today, the track and field team hosts the Delaware County Championship, hoping to pull off a big one.
And they got a good chance to do that tonight here at Orange. The Pioneers look real good. The boys volleyball team, my guys, made some history on the 26th, beating Liberty in 5 sets. It's the first time they've ever beat Liberty, and it was a huge OCC win. They also traveled over to Westerville North, beating them in 4 sets last Tuesday. On the 29th, the boys swept Upper Arlington at home. Over the weekend, they traveled down to Beaver Creek, taking a hard-fought loss. On the 4th, they traveled to Hilliard Davidson, swept them in 3 sets. And last night, in a big OCC game with huge OCC implications for winning the OCC later this year, facing Hilliard Bradley at home, they had a great night. Probably the best they've played all year, the boys did. Swept Bradley in 3 sets. And tomorrow, the boys travel to Cincinnati Moeller High School for a varsity-only match at 6 p.m. Earlier this season, the boys took Cincinnati Moeller to 5 sets. They've got a good chance to win tomorrow. If they play like they did last night, I think they've got an even better chance. And a big win tomorrow at Moeller could push them ahead in the playoff seeding poll, as volleyball is voted on by the coaches for seeding. So big chance for the Pioneers tomorrow night. Look for them to pull out a win in Cincinnati Moeller. Exciting stuff.
Boys tennis only had 1 match this week since the others unfortunately got rained out, but they made it a good one. On Wednesday, they traveled to Berlin and swept them 5-0 on all courts. Last Wednesday, they faced New Albany and lost 4-1.
Well, Pioneers, that's all we got for you this week. That was a lot of information, but lots of big things are happening here at Orange and around the country for sports. Thanks for tuning in to your weekly sports update. We'll be back next week, and good luck to all the teams competing tonight and over the weekend. Again, thanks for tuning in, Pioneers. We'll see you next week for our last show of the year, probably.